Hey everyone, I hope you're well. Yesterday, Apex Legends released this big lore piece where Loba and Revenant have a fight. If you haven't watched the video yet, there is a card on screen, but it's left a lot of questions about the lore, and many people are complaining there's some pretty big plot holes and issues with the story. I want to talk about them and give my own opinions and my feedback and theories on this and everything that is kind of hinted at. We're going to go into tons of stuff like why Loba managed to defeat a Revenant, what it means when they're talking about Gridiron, the subtle hints at time travel and different dimensions, and some other stuff as well. So perhaps the biggest question is, how does Loba, who's in her 30s, manage to defeat an assassinating murder bot that has been killing for 300 years? Surely Revenant has the most experience. How does Loba manage to win that fight? So many people feel disappointed that Loba managed to win this fight. I think that there's two really clear explanations here. Now, the first one being, yes, Loba did basically send Revenant's source code into space, or at least that's what Loba says she did. But even if that's true or not, even if there is the possibility that there's no way to get that source code back, Loba is the only one that knows exactly what happened to it. Right? So Revenant cannot really kill Loba. Yes, he is mad. He may want to beat Loba up a bit, some anger into it. But at the end of the day, Revenant doesn't really want to kill Loba because maybe there is a small chance that that source code could still be got by Loba, right? There's still that small chance. As much as Revenant now hates Loba for what she's done, Revenant can't let go of the fact that she's still Revenant's potential savior. Now, another theory is that whilst, yes, Revenant is an excellent, efficient murder robot who has killed for hundreds of years, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to kill everybody first time. The great thing about being Revenant is that if you die and fail, you can just try again. And yes, he is going to be able to assassinate most people without any problems, but it also makes sense that he could make mistakes, right? He is only a robot with certain ranges of programming. Yes, he's very good at killing, but it's easy for him to make mistakes. And that's what's so great about Revenant, is it doesn't matter because he can just come back and try again. That is what makes him so lethal, so dangerous to go against, because if you have Revenant hunting you down, you can't just kill Revenant and then it's over with. He's just going to keep coming and coming back at you, never stopping. If you've got a bounty on your head and Revenant gets sent after you, chances are you're either going to die from Revenant or you're going to become so exhausted fighting him that you're just going to have to give up and lay down and die anyway, pretty much. So those two things there really make the most sense to me. So I don't think it's much of a plot issue here.
And I took it to one of those lovely phase runners. I had no idea how far they reach. Press of a button and just like that, your source code's halfway to Gridiron.
Now, I want to kind of touch on the whole Gridiron thing. Loba says that she uses one of the phase runners to send the source code halfway to Gridiron, right? Now, a lot of people are wondering, what does this mean? Well, Gridiron is an IMC military planet. It is where Bangalore wants to get back home to. Now, what's important about this planet is it's really far away. It's really far away from where they are right now, and that's what's so difficult for Bangalore to get home. It's going to take years, maybe decades of space travel to get there. Now, many people are saying, well, if it's that hard to get there, how is it possible that Loba can just teleport her source code halfway to Gridiron within seconds? Well, there's two possibilities here. One, it's more of a saying. It's like that kind of saying where you say, oh, he'll be halfway to China by now. You're saying that they've gone a long distance very quickly. It doesn't necessarily mean literally it's halfway to Gridiron. I think that's kind of what Loba is hinting on here. And it could be possible that we do go to Gridiron in the future. The phase runner tech is sort of something that's experimental, that the legends don't really know about, and perhaps that they could use it in the future to get to another planet. We don't really know. The other thing is that Loba could just be bluffing. It could totally be possible that Loba's bluffing. She may still have the source code. Here's the thing, Loba wanted revenge, but she isn't really led by that same anger that she once was. She's being very calm and calculated about it. She knows exactly how Revenant will react, and there's no doubt that Loba is perhaps the best liar and manipulator in the Outlands. We know that from the Season 5 quest. Loba wants to play with Loba and have full control of him, and, maybe by throwing the source code into space and making it so it's never achievable again, that could cause some issues. What if Loba one day decides that she does need to end Revenant for her own safety, it makes more sense to me that she does still have the source code somewhere hidden, and she's just toying with Revenant at this point. She wants to make Revenant suffer as much as possible. So I think those are the two theories there. I think that makes sense. I think it's more likely that the source code is actually somewhere else, and Loba does know about that location.
You have a long, miserable life ahead of you, and for once, killing won't get you what you want. Come after me if you like. But the one thing you care about in this universe is still gone. Think on that for a while, won't you? After all, you have nothing but time.
Now, this line here really gets my interest because we know that there's other dimensions, and the way that she says in this dimension, it clicked to me, right? I think there's a lot of sort of more other dimensional stuff going on that's going to happen very soon. Revenant's probably going to realize that if he can't get his source code from this dimension, then he could potentially go to another dimension and get it instead. We don't know exactly how that's going to work out in the lore, but it's definitely a possibility. And somehow I feel like this shadow line is somewhat sort of teasing at the whole Shadow Revenant dimension thing as well.
I will kill you, but not today. Today, I become your shadow.
Which I think is going to become sort of a core part of the story. As Loba's walking away, she also says that Revenant has nothing but time, and this is kind of along the same lines as what Horizon said in her Stories from the Outland cinematic. She said it's just a matter of time, and she was hinting at time travel, something that she's trying to learn. Somehow, once again, I don't think Loba is hinting at time travel here. She's literally saying you have all the time in the world, but I think that for us it's sort of like another subtle hint that time travel may become a thing in Apex Legends. I strongly believe that the story is going to evolve to the point where we have time travel and some kind of interdimensional stuff going on as well. I believe the Phase Runner is a technology that can take large objects, like for example the entirety of Olympus, from dimension to dimension. I think that the war is ongoing throughout multiple dimensions, and that's kind of crazy, but I don't exactly know how it's going to work out. But I think that I just have this feeling that the war is sort of going on as this interdimensional war, right? We've heard of interplanetary wars. Interdimensional wars takes it to the next level, right? We don't really know. We'll have to wait and see how it all works out. Time travel gets really, really confusing, and adding in extra dimensions as well, it makes it really hard. So we're going to have to see how things go. Hopefully there aren't too many plot holes along the way. We'll have to see for sure. But either way, I'm really liking this extra lore. I also want to touch on the fact that this is just the beginning of the story. This may feel like an unsatisfying end, especially because this is kind of what we all expected to happen. We all kind of realized early on that Loba wouldn't be able to kill Revenant, and Loba would get revenge by not killing Revenant because Revenant wanted to die. So it's not really an unexpected twist, you know, it's the most expected part of the story. But as Tom Casiello has said on Twitter, this is just the end of chapter 1 of their story. I strongly believe the source code is probably still out there somewhere, and I'm really curious to see how Revenant's character develops. I think this artwork here is amazing. Now, this isn't really anything other than the artist trying to find a way to express Revenant's emotion, so there's no like shape-shifting happening or anything. This is just sort of an artist's vision, and it's really awesome. However, it does kind of give an idea about Revenant and his character progression. You know, there's still this humanity inside him. He is still human, and I think that he's going to go through quite a big character development over time. I don't know what that's going to mean for the story, but I think that he is going to become very bitter and angry, and he could cause a lot of pain and suffering for the other legends in the future. Now, I do wonder how it will end up turning out, but I guess that's where some interesting theories could come in. So leave your thoughts below. What are your theories on Revenant and Loba? Where could the story go next? I'm really curious to know. Let me know. I'll see you all in the comments. Thanks for watching. Cheerio.